it's Brenda Sue. So glad you came back today to visit with us. Today, we're going to do a segment on big earrings, long earrings, hanging earrings, not just dangly, but something going on there. We're going to do shoulder duster styles. We're going to do chandelier styles. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can accomplish that with our products, or maybe even things you have lying about in your studio. They're really easy, they're fun, and you know summertime's just around the corner, and a lot of people really love in summertime to show off their earrings because you can't really wear brooches or heavy jewelry like maybe you would in the cooler months. So get on over here. I'm going to show you some examples of some vintage pieces that I actually have that are collectible lines and how they're put together that might give you a leaping off place, and some pieces I've made before and some pieces I had that I actually remade a little bit. So let's talk about it. Come on over here. Okay, so before we really get going, I want to welcome Javiera Perry back from her little vacation that she took. Why were you on vacation, Javiera Perry?
Because I got married.
Because she got married. And if you were on Facebook, you probably saw some beautiful pictures of Javi and Rob on their special day, which was about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
About this time,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we were making flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing the flowers for the wedding. So anyway, we're awful glad that Javi had a lovely wedding, and she's back with us now. And we're going to talk now about those earrings that are collectible that you could be looking for. These are Banana Bob. Anybody hear of Banana Bob? I need to do a little bit more research about Banana Bob. This is a piece of Banana Bob on the original card. This is by Annie Venditti. So I think if I went and did a Google search on that, which I'm going to do, and maybe blog about it then, I'll find out who Annie Venditti was and a little bit more about this line. But Banana Bob, when it was out, and I'm going to say it was like a big 80s, 90s line. It was big and funky because that's how jewelry was back there. You know, big, glam, huge, hanging down, all that stuff. And this is done in theme. You can see it's a coffee or maybe tea drinking theme. It's got the cup and the saucer. There's a little bit of resin in the coffee cup, which is a cool idea. Kind of looks like coffee in there. She's got some little stones set in the filigree. I'll show you the back. And I'm going to see. This is soldered on. Your wires are soldered on, which is not a bad idea. Oh, you could glue them. I've glued ear wires like that many, many times. If you're going to glue ear wire, here's a little tip on glue an ear post. If you're going to do an ear post on something like this, and you're going to use E6000, you need a bigger post than this. This would be a good one to spot solder maybe with your soldering iron or with real soldering equipment. They might have even had a fusion type deal because they were a production company. But anyways, I digress. Use a bigger pad. I used to make a lot of big hanging earrings back in this period of time. I'm going to show you up here in a minute, in fact. And the gluing pad is very, very important when you do this. If you're going to glue it, it'll be fine. You just need bigger. Because little like that, you're going to get too much flex and you may snap it off, even with the best of glues. So glue will be fine, but go with at least 10 millimeter or maybe 12 millimeter pad if you can find them still. They're out there. I don't carry them right now. Maybe I should. Most people like fish hooks now. But you know what? You could do a style like this with a fish hook. You would just have to, instead of setting a stone right there, you would have a hole and you'd put it on a fish hook and let it hang. Right? But these parts, you might say, well, Brenda Sue, those look like your parts. And you'd be right, because we carry spoons like that. We carry this teapot. In fact, here's the teapot. All those years later, in silverware. Silver 03968. Beautiful. This piece is a hollow charm that has been made in the trade in the United States for, oh, I'm going to say 50, probably more like 60 years. They became real popular in the 50s when a lot of tooling was revamped. And they were used on the jewelry back then. And as you can see, coming clear up into Banana Bob's time, they were still using them, and we're still using them and enjoying them. So they're part of American jewelry making history. So here's your homework. Find out about Banana Bob, and you're going to enjoy seeing the images too that you can get up on Google when you Google Banana Bob, because there's a lot of images, and you can still buy it. You'll see Etsy listings and stuff like that. So if you'd like to collect it, it's a nice thing to collect. Or you can make your own in that style, because the parts are all still made. And even that cup is. I just never have carried it, but I could get some, and I think maybe it might be a good idea to get some. This guy, we've carried him many, many times. He's on gilding weight brass. This is a Thai class. Someone gave me this as a gift when I was in California. I think it was Dawn. Dawn Hosel is her name. I'll get it off of here so I can show you how it's made. Oh, that's sticking on there. See, it probably was never taken off. So this is probably the first time in all these years it was ever taken off. That's soldered on, of course. But this is just epoxy resin enamel. That's pretty simple stuff. All it is resin that you put a drop of color down into. You know, we've talked about that. You could even like take a finding like this and paint it with acrylic and then use your doming resin over top, not even have to color the resin. So that's kind of cool. I'll put that back on later, so we'll stick this aside. Okay, another line that probably started back around that time but is still being made and is highly, highly collectible is Lunch at the Ritz. And this is my one and only pair of earrings. And this company, it's on its original card. This company used a lot of really bright silver and gold plate, some kind of original looking findings. They're American made. They used epoxy resin. They are very, very, very protective of their design. So I hesitate to show you too much about how these were made, because they're really super, super duper copyright protected. But there's nothing wrong with me showing you a pair of Lunch at the Ritz earrings. And of course they are very inspiring. One thing about Lunch at the Ritz is it's a lot of it's done in theme. This is kind of unique for Lunch at the Ritz, just being kind of a generic floral design. They have fishing and sea life and beachy themes and vacation themes and a lot of beautiful bird themes, and they're big, big, big earrings. They're for big people that like big earrings and big hair. And these were, this is what they look like inside. It shows the makers. Yeah, it talks about the jewelry is protected by copyright, so you don't ever try to copy their stuff. Just be inspired by it. And, oh, there it says they were called Honor Rose Loops. That was the name of the style. I think I bought these in 1998, so that tells you. But they went back from before that. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about stuff that we can do from Bisou Boutique's findings. Well, here's a big one. A lot of you have done them already. Earrings. Okay, you can go back to my earrings video. Really, to make earrings, earrings into chandeliers, it just, you know, requires maybe you to have more hanging down here. Maybe drill a couple more holes. Hang some stuff up here, and more cha-cha hang on them. The longer they go, the more you've got shoulder duster, chandelier type earrings. These are some of my favorites. I love them on the Stella cap, and I wear these all the time. They're mine. Stella and pearls. Hey, champagne. Well, what is it? Miller High Life's the champagne of bottled beers, but to me it's Stella. I like Stella. Not a big beer person, but Stella with toasted cheese and tomato soup is pretty fine. That's a pretty fine meal as far as I'm concerned. So I'll put them aside. Okay, these are also Bisou. And they're kind of Wendy Gell style, I would say, but they're mine. And these were made, I don't know if I have a date on these. These were made around 97, 98. So they've got a little bit of time on them. I used to make a lot of big honking earrings like this. And I used to use a lot of acrylic and metallized plastic because it kept the weight down. Because if you start using a lot of glass, okay, yeah, the perceived value is a little bit higher, but if you start using a lot of glass, they get so heavy you can't bear to wear them. And even these I did on clips for stability. And I've worn these a lot of times. I love these. But practically everything in them is acrylic, except for these beads at the bottom and the ceramic flower. Really hard to get these great big acrylic rivolis in the watermelon anymore. I remember I used to go to this one craft place and buy huge bagfuls of them, but not now. It doesn't happen anymore. But that's definitely a shoulder duster type stuff. We've got a bunch of things hanging from the bottom and some movement going on. Okay, so what have I got over here now? Okay, oh, you know, we were talking about this on Creative Bead Chat. Someone had asked me, hey, stop over because we're talking about Damascene jewelry. And a lady there had a Damascene, no, it wasn't Damascene, it was Toledo, Spain necklace. Lovely, lovely, lovely necklace. And she was talking about chopping it up to make other things because it had really cool connectors in it. If you find jewelry made like this, that's brass, and it says on the back, right here, it's stamped, I don't know if you can see it, but it says Spain, right here. And it's raw brass, usually gilding weight. This is not Damascene jewelry. I'd like to clear that up, because there's a lot of listings on Etsy that say Damascene. This is not Damascene jewelry. Damascene jewelry is something else entirely. This is just brass with a little bit of white and black enamel on it, and it's Toledo, Spain jewelry, and it does not have a really high value, but it is collectible. And I would say if you like to collect old jewelry, this is a really nice place to start, because you could take $100 and go on Etsy and get 5, 6, 7 nice pieces, maybe more, to start your collection and get good examples too, nice examples. But these I've had since I was actually in high school. A girl actually went over there and brought these to me. And you can see the Moorish influence in them because they come from Toledo, Spain. And I think it was back in the 1200s or something like that. The Moors, they were from northern Africa. I think they were Arabic, took over in that region. And so they have the Moorish influence in a lot of things in Spain that you'll see. So you can look that up. That's some of your homework too. And by the way, Damascene jewelry can also be coming from Spain. It can also be coming from Japan. And it is actually iron set in brass with little tiny 24 karat gold wires laid down in it to make the design. And it's a whole different animal. You know, that's another thing to Google, the difference between Toledo, Spain and Damascene jewelry. Two different animals, they are not the same. But this is Toledo, Spain. And they are chandelier types because they've got the hanging parts like chandeliers do. Okay. Alright, now we got some stuff that Bisou made. These are goofy little things. You like touching that. Hubby likes this little bit of resin in here.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool, isn't it? Is it cool? I gotta get that cup. The cup is hard to find, but I know where to get it. I'm gonna get some someday soon. Along with all the other things I'm gonna get someday soon. Okay, these are kind of funky. You could go real steampunk, you know, with your chandeliers if you want. All I did was I took a little frame finding here, and I inlaid with a bit of resin, not enough to dome up over it, but used it as a glue. And these little frames, which I'm not carrying these at this time, but we have other things, all kinds of bezels and stuff like that that would totally work. And some little itty bitty watch parts and stuff I had. And then I took a piece of wire and just kind of wonkied it and wrapped it and hung like a lock type thing at the bottom. So now I got some swing and shoulder dusters. You got that, Javi? I'll pick the other one up too. Swing and shoulder dusters. And they're mixed metals too. So they're kind of steampunk, maybe more industrial style. But I made these about 10 years ago, before anybody was even talking about steampunk. Okay, now this is something really, really simple, made with our little charms. And you know what, this should be a little bit longer to really be that style, but I wanted to show you the use of this one charm. You see this little safety pin charm here? We carry a lot of them on the site. Can you zoom in on that? You might look at that and say, what do I do with that? It is like the bestest connector, because it can go under stuff, and you know, you don't even see that, and yet it matches the metal color. So it's like, these are tea and time, and a little pearl there to go with it. Now if you really want to get wild and crazy, you could probably connect another one of these under there and just keep going, make it really, really long, if you wanted to. I kind of think that for this theme, this might be more practical. People tend to buy tea jewelry, would probably be maybe a little more conservative and not want it too long. This is really nice when you paint it too. Joan Williams from Little Ruby, who has been published many times in the Stampington magazines, likes to use our products from time to time, and she painted a pair of these recently, and they were great. I think she painted them like blue and white and then distressed them a little bit. They look like little antique teapots. They were so, so cute. She did such a great job. Loved those. Okay, here's another idea. We have like a bazillion hoops and circlets on our site because they're just so useful. And while I don't have a number for you on these, all you'd have to do is go to BisuBoutiques.com and punch in hoop or circlet. C-I-R-C-L-E-T. I think we call it a lot of time. They're hoop. And you probably get a whole page of them. They have so many possibilities because you can hang from the top, you can hang from the bottom. This is the coolest old bead. Margot Horowitz gave me those as a gift once. Bead Lady 5, I think she is, at Etsy. And they're like some kind of acrylic bead down under there, and then it's got this brass brass, I haven't been drinking, honestly, brass mesh netting over the top. I have never seen anything like that. So amazing. With some pearls and some little green beads. So now you just keep on going. So it kind of makes a chandelier thing because it's hanging. Like bibs and bobs from a chandelier. Okay. These I made the longest time ago. They've got that part on them too. And I believe we still carry this little, it's a garment clip. Can you see that? One time I bought myself a pair of Vera Wang pajamas on sale at Kohl's, and the price was hung on them with one of these, and I said, oh, I must have those. Where will I find them? Only on Vera Wang clothes would you find a designer safety pin. But evidently I found out they were quite common and scrapbookers were using them, and I was able to get my hands on a bunch of them, and we have them at the site, I think, still to this day. But I just think it's a cool component. I riveted this thing onto a finding, and then I suspended a hoop and another doodad that I had. Most of this stuff is from my own stash. But, you know, you could do that too. Just work out of a pile of stuff and, you know, just go with it. You really have a good time. I did these two, I think, for an easy peasy earring video that we had some time ago. Just use a button as a connector. And then we have these really cool little bead caps. Here, see, I've got a whole box of them. Can you focus on that? I've got a whole box of them in there. This looks like you wrapped wire. Well, it's not. Made from brass. And we have them plated all kinds of colors. We have them at the site. Okay. So moving on from there. Here is a pair of earrings that Miss Kate gave me. So I hope you don't mind if you see this, Miss Kate. That I decided that I would go a little further with them. And I put these great big jump rings on there. And a few of these beads. And I made them hang even more. So, you know, you could go look through the earrings in your jewelry box and see if maybe they need improved upon a little bit. Remember how we had the video about repurposing your own jewelry? Sometimes your own jewelry needs a little bit of a makeover. Well, her earrings did not need a makeover. Her earrings never do. She makes awesome earrings, but I just thought it would be kind of fun for this. So I put some stuff on there. Something else you can do is just hang the whole bottom full of jump rings. Maki does it. No, you don't say it Maki. It's Mookie. I never can get that umlaut sound in there. Mookie Ragney. Correct me if I'm wrong. I said your name wrong. I keep trying to say it right, honey. But she has the most amazing stuff in that. It's M-O-C-K-I Designs at Etsy. There's almost never a newsletter that I have out that her things are not in it, because she is prolific as a designer. She's got gorgeous stuff in it. So check out what she does for this sort of earring and you will be amazed. And maybe buy a pair of earrings from her too. That would be a nice thing. Okay, so something else that I did that I thought I'd show you. I've only got one done and I still have to fill it in, but I made myself Carmen Miranda earrings from Carmen Miranda beads. And I have another one started. Okay, it's going to take me a little while. In fact, this one needs filled in a little bit at the back, so I've got a ways to go on this. But there was really no reason to show you this. By now you know how to use a jumpy tool, which I'm wearing. You can see that I have it on. And by now you know how to use a pair of pliers and how to hook beads onto a piece of Rolo chain. But I'm going to make a recommendation to you if you'd like to use these. First of all, we carry these. There are, I think, 375 beads in a bag for a very, very nominal price. It's low. I don't know what they are, but it's very low price. And you can just work out of that all day long. You should see the necklace Miss Kate made out of these. You would be aghast. She entered it into a contest where you had to make jewelry out of food. So she used Carmen Miranda beads. But anyway, we have these at the site all the time. We have a really big stock of them now. And what you use to make this is CHN02623, and it's about a 3.5 millimeter Rolo. This one's like a satin gold. I'm not sure if we have other colors, but this works really well. And I also found that you want about a 6 millimeter jump ring for best effect, because some of these holes in these beads are down a little far, so you might have to ream them out a little bit or cut them down a little bit. Most of them are pretty handily on it, but they're pretty inexpensive, so once in a bit you have to mess with them, but they're worth it. I think this took me 20 minutes to make, maybe. So, and I had to mess with it a little bit, but that isn't bad for 20 minutes, I don't think. Anywho, okay, one more thing I wanted to share with you is this. These are mostly just ideas. Like I say, this is our challenge this month. This is a chandelier earring. It even kind of reminds you of a chandelier, of a fancy light fixture of some kind. And what I did was I took this bead cap, cap 02555, and this is so wonderful. This is normally purchased as a flat stamping, but recently the company that makes it has started to dap it up and put a hole in the center because they realized that it would make a really great bead cap, and that it does. It makes an excellent bead cap, and I don't know if you can see in it, I don't know if that will blur, but there are little birds in it. So that's kind of really cool. In fact, someone from this company said, you know, it's really wise to learn how to use a finding at least 10 different ways. And they certainly have done that because they take their parts and remake them all the time into something else. But so what I did is I just took and I hung these little beads that I had wired up, one on each corner because there's 4 corners. And then I took and I suspended just a simple little, 3 beads on a head pin drop with use of crystal rondelle, which, by the way, we just got back in stock on the site. We have them in black and crystal. We have them in gold crystal and silver with aurora, I think. And I just put it up inside, hung it from an eye pin up inside there. We've done this lots of times. And then put a few things on it, wired it up, and hung it. I still have to make the other one, so I only have one so far. But that's a chandelier earring, and I could make that bigger if I wanted. I could make it longer if I wanted. However I feel. But what's so fun is, what I added color-wise. I've got brass ox here. I've got the matte black. I've got a little bit of aurora crystal AB stone in there, with some silver, and I've got a crystal bead on the end. So I've just got all kinds of different color, and yet it's still kind of neutral. So it's very, very pretty. So I hope you'll give that one a try. It's another piece that works out really, really well to make these kind of earrings is this one, this heart, which you can paint. I have made so many earrings from this. It could be an ear clip, an ear post. Just clip this piece off and file it down, and then hang from all these pulls along here. Just hang. You can paint them. Gloria Allen loves to paint hers. She gets that one all the time and paints it. So we just got a whole bunch more in. This is Fig 03082. Fig 03082. And we also have it in the silverware. Lots of them. Silwar 03060. I love this piece. I use this piece a lot. And then if you wanted to actually do a mini assemblage of some kind on a filigree, this would be a good one. And then have a lot of hanging possibilities. This would be a really good one. Because see, you could hang your wire from here and all around here. You could hang things. And then you could put a stone in the middle, or a cameo in a bezel, or a ceramic flower. We just got a bunch of new ceramic flowers in. You name it. Sky's the limit. Go back to the mini assemblage videos and review them, and you'll get all kinds of ideas. And this is Silwar 02563. SILWAR 02563. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. You've got a ton of ideas. Look at that pile of earrings here. Look at all that stuff that we talked about and that you could do. So come on over and join us at the Bisou Boutiques Creative Group at Facebook. I really hope you will. You're so warmly invited. It's a mixed media group. We do a lot of beading there. We do a lot of painting on brass. We do a lot of resin work. A little bit of metal smithing, not so much, but a little bit. A lot of patina, wire, polymer clay, a lot of things. We would love to see what you're doing and show you what you can do with Bisou Boutiques products as well. But no matter what you're using, you can post your pictures and show us, because that's how we all get new ideas and help each other. It's a very, very nurturing and caring group where there is no drama. And it doesn't matter if you're brand spanking new to jewelry. We'd love to have you come, and we'd love to teach you and help you in your journey. So come and join us, and come visit me at BisouBoutiques.com, where we have the good stuff, the stuff I like to use, and the stuff that time has shown works so nicely. So come and join us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.